We all desire a bigger bank account, but you'll need to do more than just think optimistically to avoid making the same financial blunders you do almost every day. From billionaire investors to LinkedIn career counselors, we've gathered financial advice from the best in the business, and today we'll show you how your money is stolen from you every day. So grab some popcorn and a pen and paper. 1. Paying for unused services. One of the wonderful aspects of technological advancements is that we now have access to enough services to keep us occupied and entertained indefinitely. Yet managing all of these services can be costly at times. And it's possible that the price will be higher than you think. In fact, according to a 2018 report, UK people waste £553 million every month on services they don't use, or may even forget about, with 40% of consumers continuing to pay for services they don't use. According to another survey, 72% of respondents admit to paying for a subscription they rarely use, for 3 months or more, implying that the typical person spends more than £250 per year on services they don't use. Gym memberships were at the top of the list for the most underutilized subscriptions, with 50% of the 2,213 persons polled confessing to only going once or twice a year. TV and music streaming services, as well as hobby and magazine or newspaper subscriptions, were among the most underutilized offerings. Some 29% of respondents claim they forgot they were paying for the service, and a similar percentage say they continue to pay for something they don't use because they might need it in the future. Another 28% of those polled said canceling a subscription was too difficult, so they didn't bother. What's worse, many customers continued to pay for these unneeded services, even as their monthly expenses increased. 1 in every 4 consumers keeps paying for a subscription despite discovering the price has gone up, and 46% fail to cancel after a free trial period. 4% of people have inadvertently continued to pay for an ex-partner's membership. Obviously, the statistics on squandered subscription money are dismal, but the question we must address is, why does this happen? The basic answer is that many people do not conduct regular financial audits. They could have calculated how much money they were wasting on unused subscriptions every month if they had studied their monthly credit card statements and made the appropriate modifications to save rather than waste that money if they had reviewed their monthly credit card statements. So if you think you're paying for services you don't use very often, take a look at your spending at the end of the month and see how much money you could be saving. 2. Not investing. It's often the acts we don't do that cost us the most money, and this is especially true in the case of investing. Taking advantage of the stock market's strength has shown to be a terrific way to grow your money for over a century, but millions of Americans still fail to invest. In fact, as of April 2019, 45% of Americans said they were not invested in any kind of equity, including individual stocks, mutual funds, and 401k or IRA accounts. It's understandable that some people might be apprehensive to invest. With the 2000 bust and the 2008 recession, we've seen 2 significant market crashes in the last decades, with many individuals losing their life savings and their houses. Nonetheless, consistent investing has been shown to be successful in growing wealth, and every day you do not invest is a day you are losing money. To be honest, there is no greater anecdote to exemplify this point than Steve and Jeff's. In the story, Jeff started investing when he was 25 years old. He invested $10,000 a year for 10 years before retiring at the age of 35. With just 10 years of contributions, Jeff had amassed almost $1 million, with his initial $100,000 sitting in the market, earning the historical 7% return. Steve only began investing in his mid-30s, and because time was not on his side as much as it was for Jeff, he had to invest $11,000 per year from the age of 35 to 65 in order to have the same lump sum at the end as Jeff. To put it another way, Steve had to spend an extra $230,000 throughout the course of his investment career to get the same place as Jeff. The point is, every day that you put off investing, you're basically losing $230,000. 3. Ignoring opportunity cost. Life is one big game of decision-making, whether you recognize it or not. We make decisions about what to dress, who we spend our time with, which schools we attend, and how we spend our money. All of these choices have an opportunity cost attached to them. When attempting to reduce the amount of money you lose every day, you must consider opportunity cost, which is described as the loss of potential benefit from other choices when one alternative is chosen. The cost of going to college versus going straight into the workforce after high school is an example of opportunity cost that will connect with many people. The most common expenditures associated with attending college are tuition, books, and housing. However, this does not include all the costs associated with this decision. One significant cost that many people overlook is the income lost as a result of seeking this degree rather than working. Let's say you could find a job paying $40,000 a year right out of high school. If you went to college for 4 years and did not obtain any raises, you would lose $160,000 in salary. Not to mention the fact that you probably paid $35,000 per year in tuition, books, and housing, making the true cost of this decision $300,000 rather than the $140,000 you'll be handing over. When evaluating how you spend your time, the same opportunity cost notion can be applied. What's the cost of spending 4 hours a night viewing Netflix, for example? If you had another source of income, you might have to forego some of it, which is then added to the cost of your TV watching decision. Most people will say that they have no other way of earning money than their 9-to-5 work, thus their daily downtime is free. But I believe that everyone has the ability to master a skill that will help them earn more money and drastically improve their financial situation. 4. Not paying strategically. There's no denying that spending money results in a loss, but some people make matters worse by paying incorrectly. You might be wondering what he means when he says paid incorrectly. As you may be aware, there are a variety of ways to pay for products. You can pay with cash, credit, or debit, which has been increasingly popular in recent years. 2 of these 3 payment methods, on the other hand, will cause you to lose money every day, while the third will allow you to gain money, while also providing you with several benefits. While cash and debit have their uses, particularly when it comes to monetary control, paying with credit is the only method to alleviate the strain of making purchases. Credit card incentives support this, and these rewards can be highly lucrative. Unfortunately, credit cards, like everything else in life, have downsides, and they may be costly if you aren't attentive. To begin, if you pay an annual fee for a premium credit card, make sure you're getting more value for your money than you're spending. Second, if you can't make the payments and are charged interest, your credit card will transition from a money-making instrument to a money-sucking component of your life. As a result, if you want to avoid losing money, you should begin paying more strategically. 5. Working below your true rate. Working at an undervalued rate is another way you're losing money every day. Let's face it, the majority of people work a 9-to-5 job to make money, and unfortunately a big portion of that group is paid less than they deserve. For example, many college graduates end up working in retail or grocery stores because the employment market is either too competitive or there's no need for the skills they learned in high school. Others, on the other hand, keep decent positions and produce excellent results while still being underpaid. There are 2 primary causes for this. The first is that they work for a profit-driven firm, and the company's primary goal is to keep expenses down in order to increase profits. Because they want to cut costs as much as possible, they'll aim to pay you as little as possible. Many employees, on the other hand, are too afraid to ask for a raise and instead accept whatever meager pay they're offered, rather than presenting a case for a permanent boost. Both situations will force you to labor for less than you deserve, ultimately leading to leaving money on the table. 6. Losing money at work. If you know anything about business, you know that money is always exchanged for more money. If you're saving or making money for the company, you deserve a raise. Deliver peak performance for at least 30 days prior to asking for a promotion ideally. Go to your manager at the end of a successful project and always back up your case with facts. Highlight the statistics, whether you brought in 3 clients or worked 12-hour days. Although most raises are between 2% and 3%, you can increase your compensation by as much as 10% by changing positions or divisions. The fix is pretty easy. Yes, the current economic situation makes you feel fortunate to have a job, but it doesn't imply you should labor like a mouse. 7. Avoiding negotiation. Negotiation is another money-sucking factor that may not have been high on your list. On this side of the world, many market vendors rarely give true prices for their wares. Most of the time, you're expected to haggle and lower the rates even further. This guideline of negotiations holds true in the professional sector as well. When you apply for a new job, you should anticipate negotiating your compensation rather than accepting the first offer. According to a Harvard Business School study, women are more inclined to accept the first offer made to them, resulting in a loss of money and professional advancement opportunities. It's past time for a paradigm shift. How do you fix this? Well, it's pretty simple. When it comes to saving money, weighing different possibilities, and knowing what rates other merchants are giving will go a long way. Knowing what other employees make before starting a new job is also important. This is also true of online retailers. When shopping for a new phone, scout for a few online and physical places to compare prices and avoid getting overcharged. Always keep in mind that refusing to negotiate has a cost. 8. Thinking budgets are evil. The vast majority of us regard them as a constraint. We can't say we blame you. They're not exactly entertaining. You'll feel better and more focused once you've identified the empty calories in your budget. Saving for the long run is nearly impossible if you don't know what you spend each month. For 3 months, keep track of every single expense, from parking meters to rent. Only over a 90-day period can spending habits be observed. It's akin to a litmus test for good or poor habits. Once you've identified the money-sucking holes, make the necessary adjustments. The ultimate fix to your little or not-so-little budgeting problem? Change to a more positive mindset. Think of budgets as the money version of a healthy diet. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. With that said, have a good one, and I'll see you all in the next one.